Let me share with you how to optimize your sales campaign. I'm going to include some examples too. It's very difficult to optimize a campaign when you've got like 10 subscribers and you've made 3 sales. It would be difficult to do even if you had 100 subscribers and 3 sales. The easier scenario is if you've got like 1,000 subscribers and you've made 30 sales. And it's even easier to do if you've got 10,000 subscribers and 300 sales. We'll use an imaginary 20 email sequence in this scenario. So let's say that it's 14 days long and you've got 20 emails in it. And let's say that your open rate on each email is on average about 20%. So some emails will be higher and some may be lower than that. What this means is that the average person that goes through your campaign will open your first 20 emails with an average open rate of about 20%. We could use click-through rate if we wanted. I won't be using that for this scenario because not every email has clicks in it, so you won't have a click-through rate on those emails. However, for emails that do have clicks in them, I usually evaluate the click-through rate and not the open rate. It probably doesn't really matter. The exposure to the email is really the important part. If you've got 10,000 people in your campaign and you have an average of 20% open rate on all of your emails, that's everyone, your buyers and your non-buyers. So then we're going to look at the buyers and we say, how are the buyers different from the non-buyers? What you can do is look at the open rate and the click-through rate for an individual email. Don't do the math for non-buyers versus buyers. For this scenario, I would recommend doing the math on the total campaign versus buyers. So if 3% bought and 97 did not buy, if I just look at the aggregate, I would be so close to the number anyways, it would just be more time consuming to calculate the non-buyers than just calculating from the 100% versus the 3% buyers. So we're going to take the average open rate for email 5. Just for this example, we'll say that email 5 has a 20% average open rate. And if someone buys, there's a 50% chance that they open that email. So what does that tell us about this email? It tells us that this email is probably contributing to the purchase. What we're saying is 20% overall open rate, but 50% of the people who bought opened this email. If we were to do the math and look at non-buyers versus buyers instead of buyers versus overall, you might find that the non-buyers are like a 19% open rate and the buyers are a 50% open rate. You can see how close the non-buyer and the overall metric is, which is why I wouldn't recommend spending the extra time trying to compute the buyers versus the non-buyers. Now, this tells us that if someone opens that email, they're probably going to be more likely to buy from us. Let's say we look at email 6. It has a 20% open rate for everyone, but it only has a 5% open rate for buyers. So that would probably tell me that that email, when opened by potential buyers, turns them off, and they now become non-buyers. So what do I do now with this email? I'm going to get rid of it. Some people might say, let's look at the email and try to find out what's wrong with it. It would take you a lot less time to write a new email at this point than it would spending hours trying to figure out what's wrong with the original email. Just chuck it. Now let's look at another scenario, like email 7, 20% open rate across the board, 75% open rate for buyers. I would keep this one. Email 8, 20% open rate across the board, 2% open rate for buyers. This email would need to be redone because it's not driving any sales. At the end of the day, we have 10 emails that are taking away from the sales, so we discard those and we redo them. And we have 10 emails that are contributing to sales, so we keep those in our campaign. Now we have a decision to make. Do we write replacement emails? Do we try to run the campaign with just 10 emails to another 10,000 people? Do we split test it and see what happens? Do we get more conversions with just the 10 performers than we did before? My guess is that we probably will. Split testing is a good idea, so here are some options. Have one group of people go through the optimized 10 email campaign versus another campaign that has those 10 emails in it plus 10 brand new emails. Another option would be to look at the broadcast emails that have the 50 to 90% open rates in them and place those in your campaign. We don't want to move all of our best emails forward. You want to keep some to close with because most people aren't going to buy like a $1,000 package or your high-ticket product the first day. My experience is people will buy within 3 to 18 days. That means that one person might buy it within 3 days and another might buy it on the 18th day, and the average person buys between days 11 and 14. So you want to save your best emails for later on and for the last day. I've discovered that if you haven't captured your audience's trust by the 14th day, you may not at all with this campaign. You should have their trust by the 14th day. The key is to constantly tweak and work the campaign, always looking at your numbers. And I would recommend doing this every few days, looking at what's making people buy and what's making them not buy. For an example on tweaking, in one of my campaigns, I've set up a payment option, but I'm going to take that option out. I'm finding that the people who are taking that option are not committed to doing the work. They don't seem to be working as hard, and I find that when people aren't working as hard, they're typically not getting the same results. That leads to them dropping out. They're not staying in as long. And even those that wait to purchase within like the 14 to 18 day range are purchasing with the full payment option, so the $1,000 level. I made the mistake of thinking that the ones who were purchasing at the 14-day point were choosing the payment option, but actually that's not the case. They were really buying at the full payment option and becoming profitable customers because they really experienced success with my training. So I'll be getting rid of the payment option and I'll start again. This is what you need to do with your campaigns. Continue to tweak it and make adjustments over time. I hope you found the information in this video to be very helpful. If you're interested in learning more about email marketing, click on the link below to get our proven formula for writing a powerful 90-day email campaign. You'll also discover the 3 keys you must have in place to write emails that people really want to read. Go ahead and click below now.